Beethoven im Garten, a celebration of friendship between Germany and Singapore through the gift of music. This was how it all started.
Beethoven was born in the city that defined a large part of my youth, because I went to school in Bonn, I met my wife in Bonn, so there are many things that connect me with Beethoven's birthplace. But to be honest, it was not alone that, it was the fact that I met Chun Wong.
I think in many ways Beethoven is the most universally human of all the Western composers, and he suffered a lot in his life, he experienced a lot during his life, and he found ways of translating that and sharing it. So in a sense, it's a perfect starting point, but it's also some of the deepest places you can go with music. So it encompasses the full range of what is possible in orchestral music. And for us, it's fantastic repertoire for students to play. And the opportunity to work with Nuremberg Symphony was also really special. So the students got the best of everything. A world-class conductor, as he has become, a great orchestra who could act as mentors with the students, fantastic music, and an amazing audience.
The person who first brought this idea to us in Child at Street 11 was Chun. And he had this idea of bringing classical music and making it an inclusive experience. Inclusive in his mind and view and vision was that the musicians and the audience would not be separated in seats or the aisles and the passageways. It would be very close proximity where the audience, in our case it was our very young children, who would be up close listening to music.
People brought something to eat, they brought their mats, they were sitting there with their children, the dog was lying there and sitting and enjoying the concert as well. And if you have 7,000 people, 8,000 people, imagine that in pre-COVID times, right? Simply enjoying the music, but also the atmosphere of being together, of having, I don't know how many nationalities sitting on that lawn that day, was for me an inspiration, not only as a diplomat, but as a human being on this globe. That is what I think this globe needs. Such a way of communicating with each other without any prejudices and simply enjoying life and the performance, yes, of an orchestra and of a very unique young man called Chun Wong.
Chun Wong was the first Asian to win the prestigious international Gustav Mahler conducting competition held in Germany, and currently the chief conductor of the Nuremberg Symphony Orchestra. One of the most prolific conductors from Asia, he was recently conferred the Order of Merit by the President of the Federal Republic of Germany for his dedicated service and outstanding achievements in Singaporean-German cultural relations and the advancement of German music culture abroad.
Maestro Wong Chun is very young, I think only about 34 years old, but he's already a national treasure. He's the first Singaporean to have been appointed as the principal conductor of an orchestra outside Singapore, in Nuremberg. We are so proud of him. And I share his vision to use music to foster friendship between Singaporeans and Germans, between Asians and Europe. So when he asked for my support for this project, Beethoven in the Garden, I say yes. I will strongly support this project.
This year's Beethoven im Garten will be the world's first immersive digital performance of Ode To Joy, connecting the world amid the pandemic together through music with an international cast.
So when I heard about the project Beethoven in the Garden and the Ode to Joy, which celebrates universal brotherhood and that sense of togetherness, it seemed to make sense. And this being the 250th anniversary of Beethoven's birth, as well as me being a lover of the music, it all came together, and therefore I was very happy to be part of the project.
Beethoven 360 involves, I would say, more than 1,000 musicians and participants from all around the world. Firstly, you have the orchestra. And so this orchestra by itself is a multi-generational group of musicians coming together, playing alongside children.
Now, you just imagine this. This is a HDB heartland. We are in a void deck. Where we are in Kebun Baru has a slightly larger proportion of a low-income government housing board flat. These children come from this kind of environment. They don't come from well-off homes where they would have listened to even a single track of Beethoven. Chun would keep challenging them in a very, very sensitive, respectful way. It is not like many of your academic school-based programs where you would be asked to memorize lines, scripts. The child had to be immersed in an experience. So the ultimate was to record Ode to Joy in German, learn the German words, learn the melody, the rhythm, the tempo.
So I think it's amazing that there's going to be so many people singing it in this recording, many more people than you would ever have, for example, in a concert hall.
You will see over 1,000 musicians and especially singers performing the Ode to Joy, but on the other side also the artistic way in which this is presented by a 360-degree camera, but also in the way the whole setup is drafted, so to say, to present the singers. It's absolutely unique.
The entire audio track that one hears from this recording is all completely authentic. It's all built up from every individual submission that we've received. And most of these submissions are done by a handphone. And so there are limited resources in terms of the quality of recording and the space of recording. Everyone is doing it in their homes. And so to be able to put together such a recording like this is, I think, a once-in-a-lifetime effort. I don't know if it will be replicated in the future, but I'm just very grateful that, there's so many people, so many musicians around the world who have been united in something like this, and to share our love for music, the beauty of music to the rest of the world. So every single person in this project has contributed to its success. And these people involve not only the musicians, our wonderful orchestra players, our wonderful singers, our soloists, and also at the same time, the team from the German embassy, who has put together a wonderful group of sponsors at very short notice, who have all rallied together to say, let us support something like this. And behind everything, there is again another team of hard workers who have worked through the night with 1 hour sleeps, 3 hour naps, just so that the product can come out in time. And so from the very bottom of my heart, I just want to thank everyone who has been involved in this. You have been instrumental to our project.
On the International Friendship Day, which is the 30th of July, Beethoven im Garten will premiere on the Straits Times Facebook and YouTube channels. Chun's vision is to bring music into the heartlands of Singaporean society, and that begins at home with the young.